Hey, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to Wake Up Wednesday. So, wake up. You know what we do here on Wake Up Wednesdays. We take this as an opportunity midweek to lift our heads up and actually focus on our plan or our outcomes. And we do that very simply by keeping track of our outcomes right here in our notebook. And what we do on the left side of the page is we write our outcomes every single day. And on the right side of the page, we track our to-dos because it's not just about a to-do list, it's about making progress towards our outcome. And let me take a guess. If you're not making progress towards your outcomes, you go from meeting to meeting every single day, you get to the end of the day, you don't know what you accomplished, it feels like a blur, you're exhausted, and you feel like you're talking about the same thing over and over. Or you come in the morning and fight the next fire. And instead of being a fire warden and coming in ahead of time to determine where a fire would break out, you just run from building to building to building fighting fire. Or the chat is a complete disaster, it's totally out of control. You have junior executives driving you crazy, running around because you're not making progress towards your outcomes. So that's what we do here on Wake Up Wednesdays. So wake up and thank you guys. Thank you for joining me. Very excited to talk to you today about something I refer to as good old fashioned spring cleaning. And so welcome to spring. Happy St. Joseph's Day, everyone. Happy St. Patrick's Day, and welcome to spring. Spring is an opportunity for us to get rid of the old and make progress on the new, which is our goal. This is where we're going to look at what we completed for Q1 and what we're on track to complete for Q2, and a different way of goal setting. Now, this pertains directly to the article I wrote and I posted in a group chat this week, which was around an event I attended that was called Unleash the Power Within, UPW, which was hosted by the Tony Robbins organization. So Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, and all the folks that are associated to them. And this was a 3.5-day event I attended. And I'll walk you through the categories per each day, and I'll give you behind the scenes look into my notes. But really, this is all centered around different ways of goal setting. All right, so I'm just going to pull up my notes here and make sure I don't miss anything. I'm going to walk. Let's see what we have here. Okay. So like I said, UPW is a 3.5-day event. It's designed to empower individuals to overcome limitations and unlock their own limitations. It's a seminar, and it covers various aspects of development, including personal development, mindset, health, finances, and relationships. You're going to engage with other people. In my particular seminar, there were over 600 people across multiple rooms. They broke us out into different Zoom rooms throughout the 3.5 days. There were workshops. It was a very structured event. They gave you a workbook ahead of time. They have these events. They do things like fire walking. They do things like breaking wood. So they'll ship you actually in the mail something you can use to break through a piece of wood that they actually give you. And this is symbolic to breaking through your limitations. They give you things like cool notebooks and cool planners like we talked about. I have tons of them already though. But if you're not someone that's so much as a planner like me, I think you might appreciate it. And a lot of interactive experiences and immersive experiences to help you facilitate growth and change. And once again, all this really wrapped around setting your goals. So I'll walk you through the first day. The first day was around breaking through old limitations, and it's identifying all of the things that didn't work either last year or didn't work in Q1, or quite frankly, that didn't work for you as a person. What are your fears? What are the things holding you back? It's a very immersive experience where you're working through different team exercises and journaling and writing things down to get to the heart of what's holding you back. And then you end that day with the wood breaking experience. It is a very transformative experience, especially someone. I'm a martial artist. I've been in martial arts my whole life from when I was a little kid. And I've always throughout the years done seminars where we would break wood, break glass, break cinder blocks. I would do competitions. So for me, this really, really hit home, and it was something that resonated with. Then we go into day two. Day two was about clarifying what you really want for the next quarter, for the next year, or even what you want as a person, what you want out of your life. So, whether you're looking at this and you're separating professional things from personal things, or some blend of the two, you can take these seminars and look at this from the perspective of personal growth, or you can take these seminars the way I did and say, how can I bring this back to my team or organization and help them? So what you're going to do is you're actually going to go through a goal setting workshop where you're going to define your goals across various aspects and and develop actionable plans to achieve them. Now, I just want to stop here for a second and mention that traditionally working in organizations where I'm managing large scale teams from a global perspective, usually we tell people, all right, guys, time to put in your goals or log into Jira, put in your initiatives, put in your deliverables. And we have offsites and do quarterly business reviews and monthly business reviews and all the blah, blah, blahs and yada, yada, yadas. But this was actually a seminar designed around working through how you write down your goals, how you can achieve them, breaking them down into measurable steps, and then sharing with your group. So one of the things I took away from this that I hope that you take away from it is that when you work with your teams to set goals for the future, or when you assess maybe where the goals didn't get hit in the past, you actually do seminars to do this. You don't just send people an email or tell them to log into the system. You actually make this more of an interactive workshop. That's definitely a key takeaway. There's a lot of introspection here and strategic planning. Let's get into day three. Day three is all about transformation. This is where we got together and we went into uncovering what are the actual beliefs that are stopping us from hitting our goals as people or professionals, and what are the beliefs that we can change to be more empowering. And the process of understanding, identifying these beliefs and transforming them is to facilitate consistent action towards personal and professional goals and foster global change for everyone. So then we get to day four. I call it day four, but it's really kind of more like day 3.5, which is a bonus because they say it's only a 3-day event, but you go about 3.5 days. So they definitely give you plenty of extra, and you're going full on out. You're starting 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, and you're not ending until 7, 8 o'clock at night. So these are really full days. There are very little breaks. They kind of tell you take breaks when you can, and you jump right in. So it's very interactive. It's very well structured. There's a lot of energy. So the final day, day 3.5, day four, emphasizes the importance of health, energy, and vitality. And the reason why that's so important is because if you're going to do a workshop for 3.5 days, if you're going to work on a quarterly goal, if you're going to work on a project over the next 18 months, it doesn't matter how good you plan. It doesn't matter how many resources you have. What matters is, do you have the energy to actually execute on behalf of those resources, on behalf of those plans? So it's a real deep dive into looking into that. So we learned strategies to enhance health, bolster energy, even our immune system, and actually cultivating a lifestyle that's a little more vibrant and sustainable for having high levels of energy to execute. Now, if you're someone like me and you're in a leadership role in your professional career, do you really believe that the folks that work with you, around you, above you, below you, are going to be willing to follow you if you're always tired, if you're always exhausted, if you always look like you're a little sleepy? No, they may follow you because the hierarchical structure or the political environment demands that they do, and they're afraid that they may get in trouble or they may be financial impacts or they may even lose their job. But if you took that away, people want to follow leaders that are energy and vibrant. So that was a key aspect of this workshop, of this seminar as well. So I started to give you little tidbits here and there on my experience, but to summarize on my experience, it's an intensive and immersive experience blending emotional highs and profound insights. The one of the emotional highs that stood out for me the most was something that the Robbins organization calls the Dickinson pattern. And keep in mind, this isn't a virtual environment, and there are hundreds of people, and they're very smart in how they run the logistics on who's on mute and who's allowed to talk. But there's one part during the Dickens process where they think about, if you continue on this path of not hitting your goal or not being the best type that you can be, or really not doing what you're supposed to do, what does that look like a year from now? 3 years from now, 5 years from now? How bad is it going to get? And they help you to really feel that emotion. And at one point, they have all 600 participants kind of scream out how that emotion feels. And I don't mean to be religious with you folks here, because that's not the purpose of these Wake Up Wednesdays to talk about things like religion. But hearing all of those people scream like that, it felt like some kind of deep underworld, a really not good place to be. And it just speaks to the power of when you do things in a group environment. And fast forward in that Dickens pattern, we talked about how good would it feel to actually meet and exceed your deliverables, your goals, and be the type of person that constantly does these things. And how good would it feel? And everyone chimes in. So you really get the power and the energy of the group. This is something, another takeaway from me is to take this kind of style of a workshop and bring that back and do this in person with people. So overall, incorporated activities, there's dancing, there's jumping, they're playing music, they're elevating your energy. There's a lot of, like I said, deep emotional work, and they create a unique atmosphere that fosters connection and transformation. So Unleash the Power Within is a comprehensive approach to personal development. It guides participants through a process of breaking limiting beliefs, clarifying purpose, transforming beliefs, and enhancing vitality to hit your goals, whether you're looking at this from a personal or professional standpoint, or combination of the two, which is ideal. It's an immersive experience, and it's going to create lasting change to empower you, and hopefully you bring that back to empowering you. So that's a summary of the 3.5 to 4 days and my experience. I'd like to walk you guys through some of my notes and give you a behind the curtain look. So one of the key themes here was mastering your mindset and having emotions that power you. And it's this theme of shifting fear to faith and making sure you control your mind to stay in a positive state. So when we're working on a plan, sometimes things aren't going to go according to plan, and it's our nature to maybe get into a negative state and worry about this, about that, about the other thing. And it's really talked about shifting that fear into faith. And instead of being worried about what went wrong and talking about the problem, let's start to put risk mitigation strategies in place, not to ignore the problem, and let's focus on what's working right, how we can continue to make progress instead. They talked about how suffering is a choice. You know, if you're the kind of person you show up and meeting, the same people just keep talking about the problems over and over and over again, you're a leader. You have an opportunity to shift that mindset and to guide the team away from suffering and talking about problems and moving towards solutions, breaking negative cycles, pattern interrupts. This is key. If you're in meetings with folks and they're constantly sort of sitting over in their desk like this, or they look tired, or they're leaned back, never interrupt. We're all about, okay, everyone, let's sit back in our chair, let's have good posture, let's smile, let's stand, let's maybe get a little exercise, let's do some breathing so that we can shift the pattern of negativity into being aware of that and being more in a positive state. It's trading expectations for appreciation. So it's saying to your teams, guys, look at all the things that we've got done so far and being appreciative for them instead of worrying and saying, look at all these things we need to do, we don't have enough. Okay, so some of the actions here were controlling what you can focus on, implementing a 90-second rule for negativity, not letting it get to you, using your physiology to break out of those patterns interrupts to focus on moving forward. A next theme was goal setting and execution. Another theme was high performance and productivity. Another theme was leadership, influence, and communication. And just to highlight here, great leaders see things as they are, but not worse than they are. So if you're a leader in your organization, you are expected to communicate the vision. That vision should inspire other people for purpose and clarity. If you're not clear on what the vision is, if you're not communicating the vision, I don't say this to insult you, you're not a leader. Maybe you're more of a manager, and that's okay too. People should trust and mirror and match their leaders. Rapport is important. Energy, enthusiasm. People should walk away from meetings with leaders and feel more energetic, to be energized to get things done. Leaders are understanding that the team talks first, they talk last, so that they can better understand. Leaders build trust. All right. And leaders know how to match and mirror people to understand where they're coming from, to meet people halfway. And leaders, once again, they lead with a vision, not just instructions. If you're someone that gives very detailed, granular instructions or nothing at all, maybe you're more of a manager. And once again, I don't say that to insult you. It's identifying where you are so you can get to where you want to be. Leaders are also very good at storytelling, stories that foster communication, foster trust, and inspire people, which was a whole nother section on building connection and trust, overcoming resilience and fear, having gratitude, thinking about the legacy of what we're going to deliver, of what we're going to leave. So let's kind of wrap this up because I know I've been going on for a while, and I try and do these Wake Up Wednesdays for you guys in about 10 minutes or less. So Unleash the Power Within UPW from the Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi organization. It's a 3-day transformation event. It is designed to elevate you, your leadership, and to give you peak performance. The core lessons focus on shifting from fear to faith, mastering resilience, and using massive action to break through limitations. So once again, it's not enough to just be in meetings all day and talk about things. I know a lot of you guys think, well, Mark, look at my meeting schedule. I'm in back-to-back meetings all week long. What have you actually gotten done in those meetings? It's not just enough to be in those meetings. It's actually to take massive action. What are you actually doing? That was a key thing of the seminar. It's setting clear goals with intention and having measurable results and productive strategies, building authentic leadership through connection and communication like we're doing right now, having gratitude for the contribution, being fulfilled, developing energy, influence, and it teaches us that success is not just about achievement, but it is who you become throughout the process. And to quote Tony here, the only way to get beyond fear is with massive action. So make sure that you're making progress on your plan and you're taking action while we write this stuff in. So key takeaways. Number one, as a leader, your mindset is everything. You need to control your focus and you need to measure the energy of the team. You need to make sure that it's decisions, not the conditions that shape the structure of your life and your team. You need to take massive action and adapt to change, be very agile. You need to be grateful and understand that your team is serving a purpose and they understand that purpose. You need to break negative patterns and replace them with empowering ones so that people can make progress going forward. You could talk about the problems in the project all day, or you can once again list them and then move forward. And leadership is about connection, influence, and legacy. Well, thank you guys so much for these opportunities on Wake Up Wednesdays to think about spring cleaning, to think about goal setting, and to think about actually taking a seminar like Unleash the Power Within that can help you actually frame your goals and take all the strategies and techniques that you learn in these seminars and bring them back to your team. As always, if you want to talk about this stuff, if you're not sure how to actually structure goal settings for your teams or even for yourself in your personal life, please feel free to give me a call. I would love to help you out. Until then, welcome to Wake Up Wednesdays, and I hope this woke you up. Remember to hustle harder, and we'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.